You are drowning in secrecy. After my grandparents' video, the responses weren't just supportive, they were desperate. You all shared stories that broke my heart. I realized how many of us grandparents are suffering in silence alone. One woman shared, I've had my grandchild for 14 years. I'm tired, but he's better off with me. It's not your responsibility, but you don't want to give up. That response is so powerful because I can relate to feeling tired, not wanting to do this any longer, knowing I cannot give up, because when I give up, it'll be me giving up on not only myself and my grandchild. And where's that going to lead her? Because her parents has given up on her, and I don't want to be the other person to give up on her. However, it is taking a toll on me, and I'm sure many grandparents out there that are in my shoes share those same feelings. I want to read to you a couple of the comments, or a few of the comments that were posted on the feed. Okay, so here's one person that says, fellow grandma of 6 boys. I've had one for 14 years. Picked him up from the hospital after he was born. I get where you're coming from on every angle. You and your feelings are valid. And she wants to offer me some suggestions about being prayed up and setting boundaries with my son, and when you want to travel, plan it out. And that, I think, is so wonderful and it's very encouraging. However, my son nor my granddaughter's parents talk to me. They don't call, they don't reach out, they're not interested. And when you have parents and family members that don't want to step up or be a part of what's happening, what do you do? I got my grandchild for what was supposed to be 1 or 2 months. It's now almost been 7 years. I'm tired, but I know he's in the best hands with me. And here's somebody who has an opinion, right? Boundaries should have been put in place in the beginning. Your feelings are valid, and it's time to tell him to get his child. Stand up for yours. And that would be lovely, right? However, there were boundaries set in place. She was only supposed to be here for a year. I've had conversations with my son. I've even taken him to court, okay? He is not interested. And what can you do when a person's not interested? You can't make somebody do something they don't want to do. And I thank you for your kind words, and know that in this case, for me, I've done everything. I've done all the things, right? I'm that person, a person that does all the things, go above and beyond and find out all of the consequences and this and that and the other. In order for me to relinquish the child, I would have to give her to the state. And why would I do that now? She's 17. She's going to be 18 in 5 months. Someone else says, you are preaching truth. Parenting for the second time at your age is so difficult for all the reasons you stated. So when you get into a place of, I know people feel like they really want to help, also know that somebody in my shoes, we would like to have people who are encouraging, who are listening, who are being there for us. Sometimes we don't really need solutions. Sometimes you've tried all the solutions, right? And you don't need a solution. You just need a sounding board. You just need a place to just talk things out. And sometimes for me, I don't know how about for you, when I talk things out, I can get resolved. Things make sense for me when I hear myself saying stuff out loud. Or the person I'm talking to ask me questions so that I can unpack things that are going on. And also know this, it can be very laborious to convince someone that you're doing all the things or you've done all the things. It feels like you're proving to someone or trying to convince them that you've done all of this stuff and that you're not wrong. And sometimes people intentions are good, but what they end up doing is causing more harm than help when someone feels like they gotta validate what they're doing or prove where they are or prove how they feel. Just know that. Know that. Here's the last one I'm gonna read. I adore my grandchildren and they're crazy about me. But the parents know not to try me. Guess she's, and once again, she set up a hard boundary, and those people are engaged in getting their children. They're visiting. So it's all good. We get to choose how we navigate this terrain based on a case by case scenario. As you can see, based on the comments and people sharing their experience and me sharing mine, is a scratch on the surface of how broad this topic is of grandparents parenting children. I have a few statistics for you. There are 2.1 million grandparents that are currently responsible for raising their grandchildren. And that was data from 2023. Among these grandparents, approximately 63% are women. This indicates that the majority of grandmothers playing a part in the caregiving role for their grandchildren. There are 1 million households where grandmothers is the sole parent figure for her grandchildren. This is in epidemic portions, and why I'm speaking about this, because I'm not alone in this. You're not alone in this, okay? It feels very isolating and like it's a only me scenario, but it's not. We got 2.1 million grandparents involved in this. That's a huge number. But one of the things we get to look at is why women our age keep sacrificing without support. I believe that's the case because most of the time we as women are taught to fall on the sword for everyone. We're taught from early on to be nice, to be kind, to not interrupt, not to make people uncomfortable. It's cultural. In addition to that, because on this side of 50, there is no real representation. We've been taught to wear the cape, to be the superwoman, to rescue everyone, and to put everyone before us at no matter what cost. And that is one of the reasons why I feel women constantly sacrifice without support. A lot of us have grown accustomed to not having support. And the pattern of being taken advantage of is also another cultural scenario. It's like if you stand up for yourself, then you're a bitch, or you're aggressive, or you're not nice, and women should be nice. Being nice is costly. It's costing us our health. our mental health, our physical health, our peace of mind, our finances, our careers, our relationships, our lifestyle is a skill set. And those are things that I teach as a coach, setting boundaries. These responses show we are struggling with the same thing. We've never learned to say, this arrangement has changed and I require support. I said that, but I didn't get it. When I stepped into that, he was telling me he wasn't going to move from California to New York. What can I do at that point? Some of us went from planning our second season to being primary parents again. Nobody prepared us for that identity shift. And every comment was a version of me too, or I see you, or you should try this. We are all drowning separately in the same ocean. Women thriving in situations like this have support systems and boundaries. The rest of us are white knuckling it through alone. Every single woman needs support, boundaries, and a community that gets it. I'm done watching us suffer in isolation when we could be supporting each other. But after these responses, it's not just wanted, it's desperately needed. We need a safe space where we can say, I'm tired of raising grandchildren without being judged. I'm putting together a survey to find out what actually helps or supports. Tell me, what would make the biggest difference in your life right now? How can we build something that truly serves the reality of our challenges? Next week, I'm posting a link to a survey for anyone who's interested to complete. Here's what I need from you. If you want to be a part of the community that's addressing the actual challenges we are facing, from grandparent fatigue to feeling invisible, to navigating this stage with no roadmap, send me a private message right now. I'm creating something that you actually need, and I want your input. We're done suffering in silence. Your second season deserves support, community, and boundaries. Remember to be amazing.